Hi Year 9, welcome to this short presentation on Introduction to GCSE History. First, I just want to say congratulations on choosing the best GCSE subject. I hope you're going to enjoy studying history over the next couple of years and developing your historical skills with us. So today we're just going to go through a quick overview of the GCSE course, and then at the end, as a short task for you to complete, just thinking about what kind of questions you have about the course overall and what you're looking forward to studying with us over the next couple of years. So in terms of what you're going to study, the course is split into two different components. So we've got the first component, Studies in Depth, which is 2 exams, the Elizabethan Age, 1558 to 1603, and also the non-British depth study, Germany and Transition, 1919 to 1939. So a depth study is looking at a specific, maybe shorter period of time to try and really find out about what happened in the period in those two areas. I'll discuss what those particular things are in a moment. The second component is your breadth study, where we look at a longer period of time in more generally to apply our historical skills to. And that will be the development of the USA, 1929 to 2000, and also changes in health and medicine in Britain from around 500 to the present day. Now I just want to quickly run through what each of those things are. So in terms of changes in health and medicine, it's very much a broad, steady study of what's happened in health and medicine across time, all the way from the medieval period, uses of leeches and trepanning, through to the Renaissance and the rediscovery of ancient thought and inventions such as the printing press, spreading medical ideas, dissection, development of medical treatment, different diseases across time. We'll be looking at local hero Edward Jenner and smallpox, for example, onwards into the 19th century, trying to look at the effects of cholera, industrialization, up all the way to the 20th century and the founding of the NHS in 1948 by the Labour government of the time. And there'll be those themes you see on the board as are the themes that we will be studying throughout medicine, and you need to get used to talking about these different themes as we study the medicine unit. So the causes, the prevention, the treatment, how medical knowledge is advanced, how patient care, by which I mean hospitals, have developed, how public health has developed, and also we'll be doing a particular case study on a particular historical environment as part of this module. You'll also be looking at Germany in Transition. This is one of your specific studies, German Transition 1919 to 1939. Here you're going to be looking at how Germany emerges from World War I, becomes Weimar Germany, a relatively free, liberal state, but then descends through economic and political struggles and descends into Nazism in the 1930s. And we're going to explore how that moment in history happened within the Germany in Transition section. You'll also be looking at the USA. Now this is a modern 20th century study looking at the USA, how that has developed in the 20th century, starting with the Great Depression of the 1930s, moving on into the Second World War, and then changes after the war, the development of the economy after the war, and then civil rights issues before moving on into more modern day effects on American society, looking at Nixon, looking at the most recent presidents as well, and thinking about how the USA has developed through the 20th century in particular, both from a political point of view and a society point of view. We'll also be looking at, as our final study, the Elizabethan Age. And this is a study of the period 1558 to 1603, and we're looking at Elizabeth I, how society changed when she was Queen of England, how it changed in terms of religion, how it changed in terms of economy, how it changed in terms of England's place in the world, and different conflicts that Elizabeth had, and how she in particular ruled England in terms of government. So a whole range of different studies within history across the GCSE, all of which are, I think, really exciting, and none of which should be things that you are unfamiliar with. We've looked at all of these aspects of all of these different studies in your study in Key Stage 3. In terms of how you're going to be assessed, each topic will be split into different units, and we're going to have assessment in school on units, but there'll also be mock exams in Year 10 and Year 11. What the key thing that you're going to try and do across our GCSE courses is from the very beginning start revising. We're going to keep reviewing classwork and completing independent study across the GCSE course. And we're going to support you in doing that. We will give you materials to think about different ways of revising, and we're going to provide you with key knowledge organisers to help with that process. There will be obviously formal exams at the end of the course in Year 11. That will be 4 papers, but split into 2 sessions. We've got Component 1, an Elizabeth paper and a Germany paper. Both are an hour long. And we've got Component 2, the USA paper and the Medicine paper. USA is a 45-minute paper, and Medicine is an hour and 15 minutes. Each paper contains different types of questions, which we're going to look at now in terms of the type of knowledge you're going to be obsessed on. So you will be assessed on knowledge, the understanding of chronology, facts, dates, events, when things happen, what happened, the people who were involved. These are the nuts and bolts of history, the key understanding of what happened and when. You'll also be assessed on your explanation. So it's all well and good knowing what happened and when, but here is the key, the most important part of history in my opinion. Why did events happen? How things changed? How can we compare and contrast time periods? And how far do you agree with different explanations of history or different causes of history? We're also going to spend a lot of time, each unit looks at sources. So we're looking at bits of historical information, images, texts, diaries from the time, newspaper articles from the time. What can we infer from these sources? How useful are they to historians? How can you support your ideas with this contextual detail of events that you have in terms of knowledge? So sources are a really important aspect of history, because it's from these rich sources that we can really find out what was happening at the time in different periods. We'll also be assessed on interpretations. So this is the demonstrating your understanding of interpretation to make supported judgments. So history is not a fixed thing. It is created by historians, and different historians have different interpretations depending on a range of factors in their life. As students of history, what you need to do is understand how and why interpretations are different. Why do different historians focus on different things and make particular aspects of history more important than others? How do sources and interpretations link together? Why are they different? How far do you agree with different interpretations of history? It's an absolutely crucial skill for a historical student, but also just for anybody to understand why people interpret events in different ways. So, I said I would leave you with a very short task today, and this is it. It's just simply to ask, what are you looking forward to in terms of history study over the next 2 years? What questions do you have about how we're going to complete our GCSE study over the next 2 years? That could be about how we're going to do it now in terms of remote learning, but also how we're going to complete our study when we get back to school. I really want to hear from you, so please do email me or contact me on Shoma Homework to answer both those questions. What you're looking forward to and any questions that you have about our study. Okay, well, thanks very much. Congratulations again for your choice of history, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.